Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spirit Chat. I am medium Mari with my amazing co-host, Winter Brook, and we are here to chat a little bit about how you can sort of reinvent yourself for spring. I don't know if you can tell by my windows, but spring has sprung here in the Northeast, and we are very excited to be here with you and wanted to just talk a little bit about spring and upping your spiritual practice and a few things that we have been involved with. So we are letting everyone come into the Zoom room. Welcome, welcome. And glad everybody's here. So Winter, take it away.
Hi everyone. Happy May, happy eclipse season, and welcome to our April edition. We just lost Mari. Wonderful. Hi guys. So, hoping everyone is well. Feel free to share the live if you'd like. And today, Mari and I are going to be talking about um, renewal of spring and renewal of ourselves. Because for those who live in the Northern Hemisphere, as you know, we are at the beginning of the spring and the trees are flowering and the wildlife is making new babies. And this is a great time to allow some part of you to open, evolve, and shine. Too often we get stuck in some of our primary roles and we don't allow ourselves to expand, kind of like when we were young kids. But now we are older, so we have responsibilities, we have families, we have parents, jobs, and so we don't have that much time to explore our inner nature. And that's what we wanted to talk about today because between the solar eclipse that occurred a couple weeks ago, which Mari and I were blessed to be able to spend together, and the full moon that's occurring technically last night, but we're still in the feel of it's a Scorpio moon, full moon, which will look for hidden talents and hidden blocks to those talents. And so be ready to release whatever's holding you back and embrace this new part of your life to try something new. And even if you decide you don't like it or you're not successful, at least you tried. Right, Mari?
Absolutely. I am back and I was just checking to see. I don't see the stream on my page. So I don't know if your amazing technical support guru can help with that and just make sure, because I was just checking on my phone. I don't see it. So
Oh,
hopefully it
it's
will.
still Mercury retrograde.
I know, and so welcome everybody. And I agree with everything that Winter had to say, because a lot of times, especially when we are caught up in our winter selves, I would say, for people in the northern hemisphere here, we kind of tend to go inward, and it's cold, and at least where I am, it's feel like it's cold 100 months out of the year. But you're not really trying to sort of get outside of yourself and see how you can push yourself. And that was a little bit about what I wanted to talk about as well. I know that we're trying to work on all the technical difficulties because it is Mercury retrograde and things happen. But one of the things I wanted to sort of comment on about the spring and sort of new spring, new you type of situation that we were talking about, is trying things that you haven't really thought that you could do. Which I know sounds like so basic and obvious, but what I'm talking about is I think in each one of us, everybody, and no matter how evolved you are, whatever whatever part of the path you are on, there are always things that are calling to us. And whether they're very quiet voices or if they're screaming in our soul, there's all those things that we've heard in ourselves, like maybe try meditation, maybe take a new class, maybe switch jobs. I mean, it could even be as, a concrete as something like that. But since we're sort of talking about spiritual things, there's a lot of different spiritual things. I've talked to people that are like, oh, I really wanted to try, demonstrating as a medium, but I'm too afraid, and but. So I think part of what we're all doing here in the spring is bringing yourself to that cliff of, okay, these are things that I'm interested in. These are things that my soul is calling me to do. and I kind of need to take the leap. And sometimes we have to even give ourselves a push in the behind because we're like standing at the edge of the cliff and we're like, yeah, that looks kind of scary. Maybe I'll just stay where I am in my cozy bed. And you can do that, but at some point, then you're not growing. So I think part of what we wanted to talk about here with the spring and sort of moving forward with our lives is getting to that edge of the cliff and seeing what small steps you can take to move forward on whatever path it is that you want to try, and kind of give yourself a push to keep going there. What are your thoughts on that, Miss Winter?
I absolutely agree. And it's not only your spiritual path, it's in all areas. So
Of
we're
course.
focusing on abilities and metaphysical topics, but it could be, I don't know, a big thing right now with the young kids is they love Lego building. Try that. They get these, enormous Legos with like 2,500 pieces. But what it's doing for them is they're focusing. So they're strengthening their ability to focus and they're really enjoying it. And hey, anything like that that keeps them from drinking in the bars is a good thing. But try it. Try a craft. Did you ever want to try quilting or go? They have quilting classes. Um, Pick up a new language. Um, just try something new, and it will, anytime you broaden your own self, that will also play into your abilities if you happen to be a medium and or a working psychic. So it's good for the metaphysical as well as good for the human. um, and we had a little bit of fun actually a couple weeks ago. Mari accompanied me. We well met there to the International Physical Mediumship Conference that was held in Albany. And I was blessed to be a tutor of Transfig. Those of you who are regular um, listeners um, know that I love my physical mediumship. So I was tickled pink. And Mari got to experience some real, genuine physical mediumship while we were there, sitting in seances with Kai Mugi and my favorite, Gary Mannion. She also enjoyed a class taught by one of our colleagues, Kevin Lee, on precipitated art, which we talked about last month when we had Gary on the show. And I have some of his spirit teams precipitated art that they created for me in the seance room. And Mari has potential skill there. She'll sit, which was pretty exciting. She got some writing on her cards that were put in a box in the dark, and they sat and built up the energy around. And she has this gift that if she wants, as soon as her kids are graduated, of course, that's
Like,
her family does take precedence in these days. But as soon as she has some time, I think she wants to sit because although she's top animal communicator and one of the top psychic mediums of Parker Shea. Now she's going to delve into my fun world of physical mediumship. And she's got a gift that she was unaware of before the conference, correct?
yes, absolutely. And thanks for bringing that up because we went, like Winter was saying, we went to this amazing conference, which will be held again next year. It's the, I always forget the acronym, but it's the International Physical Mediumship Conference,
Yes. All right.
IPMC.
Perfect.
Um, and I think they have a page on Facebook, they have a website, or you can go to Gary Mannion's page and look that up. It was really awesome. I mean, I've definitely experienced, different types of physical mediumship before and transfiguration with my mentor, Tony Stockwell, and other things, but I had not done the precipitated art that Kevin Lee taught, and he's fabulous. If anybody's in the Florida area, I think, is he like in Sarasota or something? I'm not totally
Fort
sure, but
Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Thank you.
But I know
Yeah.
he does travel too. So if you have a group and you want to entertain him, he would be happy to travel and teach classes at your
Yeah.
location.
Absolutely. And so I had never done that, like Winter was talking about it. And just to clarify for everybody, because it sounds like, oh, you sit in a dark room and like where did your box go? So I just had like a shoe box. It was not a magical box or anything crazy. There were some crayons in it and some little 3x5 cards. That's it. And while Kevin was teaching his class, the box was next to me. Nobody touched it, nobody moved it. The lights weren't even out. We were just hanging out in the room. So it wasn't, I know sometimes people picture, and a lot of the seances are in the dark, but for this particular type of work that we were doing, we were not in the dark. It was a conference room and a hotel. And my box was next to me. I hadn't moved it. All the crayons were in the package, that they come in, and the cards were just kind of loose in the box. And he was talking and talking, and we were sitting, and he was sort of explaining everything, and I was like, okay. And he's like, well, check your boxes, because we've been talking about it, sort of sitting in this energy. And to be honest, I was expecting nothing, because box not moving, nothing's happening, we're just chatting. And it was quite a long lecture. And I opened it up, and I had some little markings on these cards, and I was like, whoa, what had happened here? And so I showed Kevin, and he's like, wow, you should start sitting for that. And I guess, from my understanding, if you start sitting 15, 20 minutes a day, you can eventually come up with like full blown faces and pictures. Just you, the box, little cards and crayons or gel pens or whatever you want to put in there, and you sit with it, and you sit with the intention of making precipitated art, which is just like spirit art. Not the same as someone drawing a picture of your loved one, but asking spirit to sort of come in and do what they do best on the cards. And it was really fascinating. So I definitely encourage anybody that is interested in any type of physical mediumship phenomena, from the art, from transfiguration to seances to spoon bending and levitating. It was really quite an amazing conference, and everybody was so nice.
Yeah,
So check it out.
levitated.
I know. Did you get levitated? I missed the
Yeah.
class. I was too tired. I didn't go to the levitation.
No, I did. I didn't get as high as Neil Raspowski, but it it was fun because for particularly for women, I don't know if the boys did this growing up, but girls did this in my
Yeah.
generation. When we had sleepovers, we would, I don't know, they would say a chant or something and then put the fingers, and I actually got raised quite high a few times. And it just so happened that my best friend from elementary school through high school turned out to live an hour away or half hour from Albany. So we actually got to meet at the end of the conference and have dinner, and that was lovely. But the levitation was great. Gary had us doing it from a seated position, and it was a lot of fun. I just want to let everyone know that Restream is apparently being affected by Mercury retrograde. So I apologize. Um, it shows the data being sent to process and sent to Mari, but apparently she's not receiving it on her end, and we're unable to share it for some reason to her page. So, and for those of you who are on my Facebook page, hello everybody, I see you, but every time I go to press a heart, it disappears. So I just want to acknowledge you guys are there. And our techie person did try to fix the problem, but it's just showing data being sent. We've never seen that message. So our apologies. Mari will get the on her page the recording. And we want to also do some readings today. So anybody in the Zoom room, we'll start there, would like a reading.
And Winter, I also wanted to mention, could we talk a little bit about the spring, the piece about sort of reinventing ourselves? Because I know we talked a little bit about it,
Oh,
but I
sure.
wanted to give a few concrete, I know you were talking about different classes and whatever, but just from the spiritual perspective about how you can, because like I don't know about you, Winter, but that is one of the number one questions people ask me, like, how do I, become more spiritual, or how do I get more involved, or how can I connect more with my guides? And there's all those type of questions. And so if you are one of those people and you are looking to do that, like I said earlier, we're talking about getting sort of to the edge of that cliff. You really just have to sort of put one foot in front of the other. So it might be as simple as taking a meditation class or taking like a yoga. Sometimes in the yoga classes, they do a small meditation. Or as everyone knows, there's a gazillion videos on YouTube for chanting. Sometimes I'll do some chanting or listening to different types of chanting type of music to sort of raise your vibration, or the meditation, of course. There's also the forest bathing, which, in the olden days we used to call walking in the woods, but now it's forest bathing. So you can just basically go out, touch grass, get out there and sort of really try to center yourself. And I think starting these spiritual practices, it's not about, you're not going to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour. It's really about going within, connecting with your heart chakra, getting out of your head with all these voices of like, oh, am I doing it right? And is this right? And am I getting it? And like all that stuff. You've got to like take that breath and relax and sort of settle into your body, into your heart center, or your center chakra, anywhere you're feeling it in your body, or even in your third eye area. You want to sort of get out of that busy, worrying, anxious type of thinking and try any of these practices. Now, I'm sure Winter and I would be happy to help if people have questions about starting that spiritual journey. But the spring, just like cleansing, this cleansing is a great time to do in the spring. I know this isn't on the topic, but a lot of people do like cleanses and things. So spring is all about rebirth and growing and new things. And so, challenge yourself, try something new. Try something that you haven't done yet, whether it's a non-spiritual thing or if you are interested in growing spiritually, working on your gifts. There's plenty of practice rooms on Facebook where you can do practice readings. I know Winter has a group. I'm not sure if you offer that on your group as well. Do
Yeah,
you
we
do?
have I have a private Facebook group. I used to have a couple of ladies that would run practice circles. They're not
Mhm.
doing that anymore. So I'm kind of try to reorganize this summer and find someone that might want to host the practice circles. But in the meantime, you can post on in my group and ask if there's people there that want to practice, and then you guys can practice on your own. It's a resource to find others who are on the path. I just wanted to add to Mari's statement. Yeah, if you're seeking to unfold your natural abilities, be it psychic or mediumship or something in between, meditation is a solid way to start. You should incorporate a regular meditation practice, even if it's twice a week for 10 minutes to start. Because I know learning to meditate is hard. And like Mari suggested, perhaps if you can't do it on your own, take a class or two or a group. I know I was at the North Shore Public Library last night doing a demonstration, and I always include education as a part of that. And the libraries usually offer some type of group. Some of them are online and they're free. And sometimes when you sit with others, the group intention to go into an altered state, which is what meditation is, it's a
Mhm.
quieting of your busy thoughts to enable you to hear your soul or to hear your guides, loved ones. In the case of mediumship, it is easier to learn when you're sitting in a group with like-minded individuals. And then carry, once you go to a certain place, you start to create a neural pathway in your mind and your brain. And then you will find it easier to go back to that place if you're on your own. I also recommend for newbies to meditation, music, and or even better, a guided imagery meditation, just to get the mind out of the way. So that would be one thing. Another thing I've been encouraging people to think about is maybe learn some energy healing, because learning healing along with mediumship and psychic work is a wonderful combination. And I happen to love just plain old basic Usui Reiki. Reiki is a form of energy healing that is now being used by major hospitals in major cities. It's offered to their patients. My daughter is a doctor at Boston Medical, and she has authorized to write prescriptions because the hospitals are finding that using Reiki reduces the need of pain medication for patients undergoing some form of surgery or care in that respect. It also reduces anxiety. And again, that would reduce those other types of medication a patient might need. So they are moving ahead. And I know one major Long Island care provider network called Northwell Health. It may not be up by Mari, which is in Massachusetts, but it's all over Long Island and Westchester. Um, Last year, I attuned a master because Northwell wants her to start attuning their um, employees because she was a LPN employed by the hospital system. So when you become attuned to Reiki, you learn what your chakras are, which Mari was talking about clearing them. So, you get introduced to those concepts if you haven't been. Number two, a side effect of Reiki is it's like a chimney sweep, getting out old stagnant energy that may have accumulated because of past traumas. Now, in your grown up mind, you have one definition of a trauma, but to your 7-year old self, not getting invited to the birthday party might have been a traumatic event. And maybe that's created in you a fear of being open with strangers because you don't want to be hurt or something like that. It's something silly to you as an adult, but it was a major deal when you were little. These things come up to be released. And as they do, you will experience enhanced psychic and mediumship abilities. And then you can go from there. So, not only that, but you will learn to be able to give yourself healing. All right. And in this turbulent world right now, we are all affected energetically. And then you can give healing to other people. I was actually last night, Mari, my first message of the night. I went to a young woman, and it turned out she was with her sister, and their great grandmother came through from Chile. So of course, you know what I'm doing now with Colombia. So
Yeah.
Spanish things, right? And it turned out the sister had a special needs child, and great grandma was coming through to tell the girls she's kicking them in the keister to get moving on their spiritual path. And one of the things great grandma wanted was for them to learn energy healing because great grandma in the village she lived in, it turned out she actually was a tarot reader,
Mm.
and she also did energy healing on people. And the girls, they look like they were in their 20s. They hadn't really pursued it. They knew about it and they were interested, but they just didn't, they needed a push. And when I explained to the mama of the two girls that it will help with her nonverbal autistic child, because autistic children and other special needs children, well, all children really, but particularly those with special needs, gravitate to the Reiki energy. And to be able to kind of just give them that energy when they get home from school makes a tremendous difference. So that might be something you guys want to investigate. It's like a one class shot. Although if you're in England, I do believe I've seen it stretched out over like 12 sessions. They make it like a minor um, class, some of the instructors, not all. But in the US, usually it's a 5 or 6 hour class and you're done. One and you're done. You never have to be attuned to the level one again during your lifetime. But that would be a fantastic way of opening you up as a healing channel. So your energy is just going to start becoming more and more healing to others in your vicinity. You're an ambassador to spirit in that respect, and it will help you individually with mediumistic and psychic abilities strengthening or opening.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend those as well. I'm also a Reiki practitioner. I think I do sort of a combo. I don't do straight Reiki. I do just sort of healing, and we'll mix a little Reiki in there.
Of
So,
course.
but
It's I
um,
mentioned Reiki, sweetheart, only
yeah,
because that's the form that's like easily recognizable by the medical community. So if you wanted to go on and just get all 3 or 4 levels, depending which lineage you're in, you can always volunteer with VNS. Depends how far you want to take it. That's why I mentioned the Reiki, because then, the scientific community may not completely agree with spiritual healing or raindrop therapy. But at least if you have the certificate for Reiki, you can then incorporate the other modalities. Absolutely.
yeah, of course. And I think it's a good way to start if anybody is interested in just getting, because it's really just about getting connected to source in whatever way you can. And once, Winter was saying you have that connection, once you've settled into a meditation type of practice, even if it's short, doesn't have to be anything crazy. You are able to sort of call that up again. So you're sort of able to jump into your power whenever you need it. And that's definitely important, especially in our crazy world right now. It's important to be able to get out of all of this stuff that's happening in the world that we all know about and sort of get centered and say, okay, what am I doing? Where do I need to be now? And what's really important instead of jumping on the anxiety boat and traveling down the river there. So, yeah, I think these are all great tools and great options. And again, if anybody has any questions, we are definitely available to help point you in the right direction. Um, because everybody's growing. It doesn't matter if we do this work professionally, but we're still growing. We still take classes and we still practice, and nobody is like arrived, like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to learn anything else. It's not like that. There's always more. So that's it's just important to try to, I think, open oneself up, especially this time of year, because energetically you're really inclined to sort of make a little more progress because things are moving so quickly now that it's going to sort of propulse you down that way and help you with your growth. So good
Uh,
luck to everybody.
Actually, this is a great segue to make a little bit of a plug. Um, for those of you who are interested, I'm going to repost it on my Facebook after the show today. Participating in one of those online retreats this weekend. It's from Friday through Sunday. It's 21 presenters on almost as many topics. So anything from there's a tarot class. I'm going to teach Trance 101. Like Colin Bates, who's a pretty renowned teacher, is going to be on there. There's going to be some young psychic mediums doing gallery readings, all kinds of topics, and it's through Lori Smith is the one that put it together. She's a practitioner as well, and she invited me to participate, and I'm so excited. So here's the clincher. It's $45. It's very little money and you can watch as many of the classes as you can sit through your Zoom. They're not being recorded, so if you're not there, you'll miss it. But you can watch up to 21 different presenters, get their different perspectives on many, many different topics. Just go to Eventbrite, and the name of it is Transcendence. And there's a discount code. If you use my name, Winter, you get an additional $5 off. So I think it's a great opportunity. Even if you go to like one class, it's still very inexpensive for $40. So I'll put it in the, I don't know if the people at home can see that, Eventbrite. And the name is, just Google it into there, Transcendence. And my discount code is my name, Winter. So I think that would be a great way, because maybe you've never had any exposure to formal tarot. Maybe you'd like to hear somebody talk about astrology. You can dip your toe in it for, very little. Sorry.
That
So
is no, go ahead. That is a really good idea and good time to put in the plug because yeah, you can there's, she said 21 different classes. So if you're interested in 3, then you still got 3 hours of content. And so I think that's pretty reasonably priced. And
the class
that
is
way,
90 minutes, so it's
90 minutes. Wow,
class.
that's a
Yeah,
lot.
so it's a no-brainer. if you're interested in being exposed to different teachers and different topics within metaphysics. Or, I know my friend Terry here in the Zoom room, she loves gallery demonstrations. So, Terry, if you're able to go, I know you have a lot on your plate, but I think there's about two or three gallery, that mediumships where they're just going to be, or psychic, they're just going to give messages to people. So usually to go to those things, it's far more expensive. But just wanted to let you guys know about that.
Great. Sounds awesome. And I know, and I have seen Winter Dem for her transfiguration, and I know she was teaching her class, but she was amazing. So
Thank
even if you just go to listen to her and watch her, that will be worth it right there. So
Yeah, I'm
definitely
doing
check it
trance.
out.
So
Trance.
yeah, so here's the thing, guys. If you are a working medium or unfold developing medium, you really should know about trance because trance will enable you to blend deeper with your spirit communicators and receive more detailed um, evidence. So it's like you should have foundational mediumship, learning into ground and open and close and that. And then you should have trance. And then you should go on to like private readings and gallery and stuff like that. But people hesitate because they're a little nervous with trance. So hopefully, since I'm going to be the instructor, I don't make people too nervous unless they're on the wrong side of the road.
She's very nice. She's not going to hurt you. So I definitely recommend checking it out. And there's a plethora of things you can look at, like we talked about. And yeah, try to allow yourself, don't just go up to the edge of the cliff and look down and be like, okay, I'm not going to do anything again, because that feeling. You're just like, why aren't I moving forward? Why isn't there more in my life? So you need to push yourself off the cliff a little bit. You have a parachute, you're going to be okay, but you have to sort of push yourself and make that effort a little bit. So I promise it's going to be okay. You're going to feel really good once you do it. So what do you think, Winter? I'm looking at the time. It's 333 angel numbers. Thank you for connecting with us, angels. Do you want to offer some readings to people?
Sure do.
All right. And
I'm
I was
still on a
trying to
high
keep
from
an eye
last
on the,
night.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm still flying from last night.
I know, I'm sure it
First
was
in
amazing.
person. Yeah, I was my first
Yeah.
in-person dem in a few months. So it was nice because I've normally been working online or physical, and this was mental platform. We had about 60 people show up.
That's
So
awesome. That's great. It's fun. It's very fun. Once if you do a demonstration like that, you're all like buzzing, and so it's very cool. And I am keeping an eye on the Facebook page. If anybody wants to put any comments or questions in there as well, we can
oh, you have it.
also do a reading. Yeah, well, no, I don't. I just have yours. I shared yours to my page. I do not have the original link. So we will have to look into Restream and see what is going on with them, because no, it never showed up on my page. But
It said data sending, so I think it's a Mercury retrograde issue, but we'll investigate further. But it
yeah, we'll take a look at it. I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah,
that's
if anyone
something
does
else
have
you
questions,
learn. Roll
yeah.
with the punches.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep going. So if anybody has questions, we can take them through Facebook as well. But yeah, let's get started. If anybody has wants me to do an animal reading, it's better for me if you have photos. I don't necessarily need them, but it's always better for me if you have them. So yeah, so who is looking to have a
I
reading for today?
I know that Terry is with us, and she would like some words of encouragement or inspiration, support. So,
Yes,
um, do you want me to take Terry or
it's up to you.
I'll take Terry and then you see who else would like a reading in Facebook. Um,
Okay.
Terry, sweetheart, because as I was asking Mari if she wanted to touch in with you, I got a mother coming through. I have brought your mom before, so I do actually recognize her. And she just jumped right into to the fro. And I feel that that was evidential in that when she was here on Earth, she would walk in the door and just start doing, start
Hmm.
helping.
Yes.
You didn't need to ask her. She would just start opening cabinets, putting dishes away, tending to the stove if you had something on. Um, she wants you to know, just set your, just look forward. Okay. Stop thinking about what might happen. Just focus on the day and what is happening. And although she said you have allotted yourself some me time, do you understand that?
Yeah.
You have some coverage helping you. She said you may need to increase it. You may need that daily. All right, now you have about 3 or 4 times a week that you get out, whether it's doing grocery shopping and you get out, but you may need to make sure you have something and you have coverage every day to just step away, even do that walk Mari was talking about, and then, go back, and you're going to get through it with flying colors, but it's just time. You just have to be patient. Life is just life. You have to roll with the punches.
Yep.
Okay. And your father's there laughing because he would be more of one to say, you roll with the punches. Your mother
Hmm.
would come in and say, oh, I'll take care of it. You go sit. You're doing enough. Do you understand that about your parents?
Yes.
All right. So they are with you. They have not left your side when you've
I
needed.
know. I
Okay.
know they have.
All right. So I want to give you their love and encouragement, and they are walking on each side of you as you traverse this part of life.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
All right. And hi, Terry. Nice to see you again. We have our loyal viewers, so it's nice to see everybody that shows up all the time. Appreciate it. And the mysterious Zoom user, who I believe is your name, Brian? I don't know if you're incognito or running from the
Yes,
law,
hi.
but hi. Hi.
Brian was
Oh,
with
I
us in
remember
Albany.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hi guys.
I was like, okay, because it said Zoom user, so sometimes we get a little a little worried when we have a random person coming on
Oh,
because, whatever shenanigans someone could be up. So
We only had
yeah, thanks.
shenanigans one day.
Yeah, only
I
one
made
day
her
of
son
shenanigans.
delete that.
Yeah, that was not great. But anyway, so nice to see you. And
hi.
so
Thanks for having me on.
of course. And so you sent me a picture. You said this is Daphne. Oh,
Yes,
my ring light is in there.
Oh, how pretty.
Yeah. And she is still on this side, correct?
she is. Yes.
Okay. And did you have any particular questions or you just want me to see what she has to say?
Well, yeah, maybe you could just see what she has to say. Also, I'd like to see if you had some insight maybe of how I could make her a little bit more happy. We moved to a new house, and I just want to make sure that she feels at home and settled and feels like she's got her place here.
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely. Well, it's interesting because when I'm connecting to her, the first thing I'm getting, it's like she's kind of has like this mixed personality thing going on. Like she's very loving and very sweet, but she's got this like anxiety edge. You just kind of like,
Mhm.
ooh, like I don't know what's going on. I'm not totally sure. Like she's just talking to me about how she doesn't feel. I know you said you just moved, but she doesn't feel settled sort of in general. And I feel like she would have been a lot better in your previous house. So whatever
Yeah.
anxiety piece she has sort of been kicked up by the move, which,
Mhm.
makes sense. And just like people, animals, certain ones are more prone to anxiety or worry than certain people are. Like some people, they move, they're like, oh, whatever, it's fine. And other people, it's like, I always like to say that for some people, a drop of rain is a drop of rain, but for other people, it's a tsunami. So for her, I'd say she's kind of somewhere in the middle. I'm not getting tsunami with her,
Yeah.
but she definitely can be prone to that. It's interesting. She just started talking to me about like her brother. So I don't know if you have another dog or there was some piece about her brother in the
No,
litter.
it's my son.
It's
I
your
have a three and
son.
a half year
Okay.
old son, and I call him, her brother.
Her
Yeah.
brother, okay. She's saying brother, brother. And so yeah, she's talking about that and she just loves him. She just loves him. She's just like it's almost like in some ways they're like inseparable. Like she's very protective of him. And I know obviously if he's 3.5, I have, 3 kids too. They can sometimes be a little bit crazy. And so sometimes she
Yeah.
can be maybe a little standoffish when he gets
Yes.
maybe a little riled up, like
Hmm.
okay, I love my human, but what are you doing, human? It could be a little
Yes.
crazy right now. So that's sort of sorry, that's my animal voice. So
Oh,
all
it's
animals
perfect.
talk like that. That's it. But no, so that's what she's telling me that she has that closeness and she like loves him so much, but sometimes she can get a little like, okay, calm down, it's all
Mhm.
right. Like make sure everything is kind of kosher and going well for her. She doesn't some dogs they can you can jump on them and ride them and all that stuff and they're like yeah whatever I don't care. She's not really in that camp. She's like I love you and I want to be close to you, but when the your son gets a little crazy she's like
Uh-huh.
okay I might need a break, a little timeout. So
Exactly.
in terms of your and thank you for that. And so in terms of your question about keeping her more settled, I think it's going to take a little bit of time, and I'm not sure if we talked about this a little bit at the conference because I had met Brian at the conference. He's lovely, and so it was very nice to meet him there. But in terms of getting her to be settled, I think it's going to take time, like more time with her than it would
Okay.
with maybe a more relaxed dog. And a
Hmm.
few things that you can do is, I would try, and I know that it's hard because you have a little kid, but as much as you can, try to keep the temperature in the house just sort of calmer and quiet. Like, I don't know
Okay.
if you leave her at home at all, sometimes like I maybe
Yeah.
put on some like spa music or some
Okay.
classical music just to sort of like just kind of keep everything low key. And then, I just heard they're talking to me about like air fresheners. I don't know if you have any plugins or anything like that in the house, but she's a dog, but she's mentioning to me she's super, super sensitive to the smell. So if you had something like that, I would either discontinue the use or move to like a supernatural, maybe like a lavender or something that would be more calming because she's telling me that there's some smells in the house that are like bugging her a little bit. And I don't know if she's had any allergies, but I think that could
Yes.
contribute to that as well. And she's also talking to me about itching. About she's shown me like her left side. If there's some like specifically itchy spots that she has. So she
Okay.
is sensitive, like not just on the emotional level, but also on the physical level. So I could see
Got
her
it.
having, like tummy trouble and stuff like that. So just sort of
Mhm.
be aware of that
Okay.
when you're doing anything that like, she's a sensitive girl and she
Yeah.
just needs that
Oh,
little extra care. So,
yeah.
so I hope that was helpful. And
Oh, that's
she'll,
so helpful, Mari.
oh, you're so
Yeah,
welcome.
I have a housekeeper that uses some cleaning solution, and I noticed that she gets a little wigged out every time they do the floors with that solution. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
because I'm smelling like it smells very strong and like
Mm,
like
hmm.
yucky. And so, and again, I don't know, I'm not the cleaning expert, but maybe something that has no smell or like
Yes.
in my house we use the Bona, the hardwood floor, the Bona cleaner. That's like I think it's non-toxic and doesn't really
Okay.
have any smell at all. So yeah, just maybe investigate that because anything that's strong is like it's bothering her like
Yeah.
allergy wise, and then I
Yeah.
think anything that's bothering her in a physical way is going to make her emotional piece worse.
Got it. Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
you are so
Um,
welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Yes.
well,
Yes.
nice
Wonderful.
to see you,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Nice to see you.
My
Thank you.
my cleaning woman is using vinegar in water.
That's what I'm gonna have to start doing. A little bit of dish soap and a little bit of vinegar water.
Yeah, that's what she's been using, and it works very well on a multitude of wood surfaces and vinyl surfaces. And let's face it, I have a house full of animals, including the new puppy.
Ah,
Right,
So
right. Well, the
good
it
vinegar,
works
just
advice.
be aware
great.
that the vinegar might bug her as well. You could
Oh,
try it out on a small
I'll
thing because it's
dilute
super
it.
strong. Yeah, it's super, super
Okay.
strong. So just
yeah.
anything that's,
I would,
investigate natural cleaners or even unscented. I might go unscented with
Will
her.
do. Will do.
Yeah, and let us know how it goes.
All
So,
right. Thanks, guys.
yeah.
you're
Oh, our
welcome.
pleasure. All right. So who is looking for a reading? And
Oh,
I'm not sure. Are you on the Facebook? I'll have to go back.
Mari, we have one of our Zoom watchers, Kim.
Hi, I unmuted. Sorry.
That's okay.
Huh.
What would you be interested in?
Well, I had this already on my calendar because I keep missing it. It's either I just get on your Facebook like after it's posted, so I keep meaning to, and I have this on here and also to sign up for that class. I already had that on there
Oh,
today for this weekend.
the Transcendence. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
But my question is, I guess this is more to put my mom's mind at ease because she's worried about me. But I talked to her for 45 minutes today, which is unusual. But I'm getting ready to sell my house, and then we have to figure out like a place to live in the meantime, and then we're gonna be building a house too. So she's like, "You're doing too much, you're going too fast, you're not gonna have a place to live. You're gonna be, what are you gonna do? I'm worried about you." I said, "Calm down."
Yeah.
She says, "You know I can't calm down." So I guess that's like my question is the building part scares me the most, I guess. Just finding a right builder that's, gonna have the right capabilities to build that for us.
Okay, so you're gonna do your homework. Just, this is even not you would be able to find someone, but do your homework. Don't
Okay.
the first guy. I actually, the time I built my house I'm currently in, it was for my mother and I, and all the general contractors were busy. So I had a friend helping me GC. I hated it because I ended up so a GC is worth his weight in gold. And
Yeah.
you need to see some of the properties, talk to some of his past clients,
Hmm.
and anticipate there are going to be bumps in the road. That's just the way you do it with building.
Hmm.
All right. So if you know that going in, it shouldn't rattle you too much. But I'm sitting in a home that I built in 1999 for my mother and I. I mean, I was running into the city while she had a couple of strokes, all while I'm trying to run a law office, and be a single mom.
Right.
And I ended up with shingles, but I still had to meet with the plumber to lay out the heating and the AC guy, and then the mason fought with the plumber. I had to go down and break it up. And
Yeah.
over 6'2" because the mason was taking on the job, so I had to can him. So these are the little bumps. But if you have a GC, you won't have to do that. And what I'm hearing is that it'll be a little uncomfortable, the in between part. Your mom is right, because you're going to have stuff in storage. You're going to rent
Mhm.
something much smaller than you're accustomed to living in. But you know that going in, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to have a beautiful home when it's all said and done. I don't think now you haven't bought the property yet, correct?
We got it about 2 years ago.
Okay, so my apologies. I made a mistake on that. So I just feel though there's something that's going to be a little bit different than what you anticipated. Do you have the approved drawings and permits?
We have it perked and stuff, but we don't have like we have the survey and the perks and stuff, but we don't have the like the architectural like drawings and
So,
stuff like that.
yeah, that might turn out to be a little bit different than you were foreseeing
Okay.
because of setbacks and things. I just feel like there's going to be it's not going to make a difference in the end. You're going to love your home,
Mhm.
but there may be something you're not expecting, but it's
Okay.
still going to work out. Now, as
Okay.
far as your mom, she's just having general anxiety because for her, this would be an overwhelming experience. And I don't know your relationship with your mom, but if it was me and my mother just said, I don't want to know about it. And I had her in Manhattan in hospitals getting tested for everything, and I was taking care of everything. She just wanted off-white walls. I'm sorry, but the feel I'm getting is it's going to be fine. It's going to take longer than you anticipate, which is normal for somebody to advise you. But you're going to be glad when it's done. I see 2 years.
Okay.
It's going to take you a
And
few
go,
months to find someone
I
and
was
to
good.
get the architectural. You talk to the architect; they'll be able to refer you to a good builder, and then find two more to compare.
You
Okay.
need to get a glass of water, my friend. I was just going to jump in here, Kim, for a second, so Winter can take a minute. Poor Shane, go get some water. Yeah, I agree with everything she said. I think I kept hearing it's going to be double whatever it is they tell you. And of course, anytime in building, there's always something switcheroo, something happening. But the first thing that I wanted to mention is that the piece with your mother and the anxiety, that's really more about her than it is about you and the process. So it's, the process is, if anyone's built anything or had additions, it's always, there's always something because there's many moving parts. So I'm sure that you recognize that it's going to take, a little while and that things may go wrong. It's important, A, to stay on top of it. I know you have the general contractor, but just to sort of stay on top of like, oh, is this window where I want it? Is this the countertop I ordered? That type of thing, because there are mistakes that happen. But the piece with your mom is that she's anxious anyway. And so she's just like, fine, this is like her topic du jour, like, okay, what can I be worried about now? Oh, no, you're building a house. Now I can worry about that. So, and I understand because I have my kids and I always say the mother is only as happy as her unhappiest child.
Yeah.
So if you are going through all this, then it's really what she's glomming onto, because that sort of feeds her anxiety. And in some ways it almost feels, I'm a therapist also, so I do speak from a professional standpoint, but it's almost like in some ways she enjoys it. I know that sounds kind of weird, but when you are used to any type of trauma or anxiety or whatever, even though it's not really good for you, it feels familiar and comfortable. So it's like that old pair of pants you put on and maybe they're ratty and dirty, but you're kind of used to them. And so it just feels to me like this house piece is really more about her and her worries. So I wouldn't take that as a sign of, oh, something bad's going to happen. It's really more on her. So she starts saying, oh my God, I'm worried. Where are you going to live? Just know that that's her and that she needs to own that piece. And then just proceed with whatever work you need to do on the house, knowing that, it's never a straight line. It's always here and there. And I'm sure the plans will change a little bit. That's just the process of building anything. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention about the anxiety piece, and not for you to take that on as something that you need to solve or something that you need to fix, because that belongs with her and she needs to be able to work that through.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, she wants to worry about something on Wednesday. So this was
Yeah.
her topic because it's overwhelming for her because her world is a little smaller.
Yeah, of course. And again, there's a part of her that enjoys it. That's what I keep hearing. So that she, not that we want to make ourselves sick or crazy with anxiety, but there's just like that familiar, like, it's like, and once this is done, she'll find a new thing, unless
I
she
agree.
wants to resolve it, which she probably won't. But some people are able to change and do that, but she'll just find the next thing, whatever it is. So just sort of keep that in the back of your mind so that you're not taking that anxiety on as part of the building project, because that's just going to make it a lot harder for you.
Okay, thank you both.
You are very welcome.
And I just want to add one other thing. I get from Spirit, I'm hearing, and I think it's probably from your grandmother, include her in a couple of specific areas, whether it's picking out curtains or picking out the plumbing, the fixtures. Not all of it, that would be overwhelming. But if, one or two specific things help you choose the roof color to match the siding that you already picked out, some specific little tasks that may also shift her anxiety into feeling like she's being proactive. And of all days, my architect is watching on my house. It's still standing, Louise, and very much loved. And yeah, we were really good friends, so we bartered. I did a trust for her. I was an attorney back then, and she made me immaculate architectural
Drawings. Yeah.
So Mari, we do have the other Zoom participant tonight. Would like Philip?
Yes. Hi, guys.
Hi.
First, I want to thank you for this amazing time I'm having with you. It's really interesting. I'm French, by the way, so if you don't understand my accent, feel free to ask me too.
Bonjour, bonjour, comment ça
Bonjour.
va?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Actually, I'm an accountant, like, very like initially down to earth, like debit and credit, and I switched literally to something totally different. Like I discovered I was able to do energy healing, so I dig up on that, and that makes sense also what you said about spring, when you're there to say to do and to try things. And this is what I did, and I was so happy you mentioned that, because I really encourage people to try everything they can. So I discovered I have some abilities with energy healing and also clairvoyance, clairaudience, like everything was like so different where I was coming from. And I also obviously met new people in this field, mediums and psychic and every, different people like I was not used to meet before. One of them told me that my grandma, Suzanne, who was the mother of my mother that I never met, was someone who was protecting me. And
Okay.
I would like
So
to know if you guys have some.
Okay, no more information, because when we do
Yep.
readings, it is nice, as if we're going to read for the first time, not to have too much background, so that we can have information come from the spirit communicator and
Okay.
give it to you. So, Mari, do you want it, or do you want me to take it, sweetheart?
No, it's interesting because as you were talking, and Philippe, it is lovely to meet you. Thank you for tuning in. We love to see new faces. And it's interesting because as you were talking and you were talking about, accounting and all that, and I'm feeling like, wow, that's just like so polar opposite of how I'm feeling your soul, like you're just like, because you have such a beautiful light around you and such beautiful energy that like accounting is very, it's interesting. I mean, I could probably spend a long time talking about that, about how you ended up there. Because obviously that would be a lot of a safer choice to stick with the concrete and the black and the white. And this is much more, open and, multifaceted, you could say. So I think that's very interesting. In terms of who you have around you, yes, I can definitely feel all of your abilities, and I can feel that that you can definitely go very far in this field. I don't know if this is something you want to do professionally or even on the side, but you have that type of energy that you can just go as far as you want to go. I do feel like there's a grandmother around you, like a motherly presence. But as I was talking to you, I just kept hearing angels, angels, angels. There's so many angels that are around you that I'm not sure if you're aware of this. And we all have guides and guides and angels that surround us, but specifically I'm feeling I'm feeling Raphael, who is the healing angel, because I'm getting a lot of green light around you. And Archangel Michael, I don't know why, because he's like more of the protective angel. So there's some piece about like protecting you or protecting your energy. And I'm not sure if there's like people in your life that are like, Philippe, I don't know what you're doing. It seems a little crazy to me. So that might be why that he might be stepping in and being like, giving you that sort of protective shield around you. But you have a lot of that angelic energy around you. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but do know that it is there. It's interesting with your grandmother. I only speak a little bit of French. I lived in Canada for quite some time, and
Okay.
un peu, je parle français un peu. So not very much, but I hear her coming in speaking a lot of French, and she's also like, she's kind of like a hot ticket. That's what my grandfather would say. Like she when she has something to say, she has a lot to say. Like she will come in and be not forceful in like an aggressive way, but definitely if she wanted something to come across, that she very much like you would get the point. Like, do you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
So so I do have her here and around you. So it's almost like I feel like she's almost pushing you towards this a little bit, but it's interesting because I don't feel like this is something that she would have really talked about in her life. This isn't something that would have been like a topic of conversation or that, she would have necessarily openly talked about. But it's funny, she's like kind of laughing and she's very like jovial. She has like this beautiful, like high kind of vibration and energy that I'm feeling from her, and she's laughing and she's like, yeah, I never would have talked about this while I was here, but now that I'm on the other side, I totally understand. And she is sending you a lot of signs, and I'm not sure if you're aware of that. There's some piece about, and spirits can send us signs in like a million different ways, but specifically she's talking to me about two different things. She's talking to me about coins finding, but she's showing me like a bunch of coins, not just like a coin here, a coin there, almost like a little pile of coins. And they also look like foreign coins as well. And I'm not sure why she's showing me that, but there's a piece about that as well. So sort of be on the lookout for that, finding coins from other countries around you, like in strange places that you wouldn't necessarily find them.
Okay.
Like if you are traveling and they give you coins, no, that does not count. And then she keeps showing me feathers. I keep seeing feathers, like white feathers coming to you, finding them again in strange places, whether it's in like you open your drawer to get your clothes out and you're like, oh, why is there a feather there? Like something like that. Because I feel like
noticed that already. Yes.
You've had that's happened already. Thank you.
Yeah.
So she's like showing me that, but she's very strong. Her energy is very protective of you, but she's also kind of giving you a little bit of a push to like keep moving in this direction, because as I encounter your energy, it's like I just see so much, like if you keep moving in this way, you're just going to explode in terms of your abilities and your work, because you have that type of energy, and also the energy where people like to talk to you and come to you. Like I can see that like strangers will come to you and be like, hey, I was wondering, and just start talking to you because of your energetic field. You almost invite that, like you're a helper, and you want to help in that way. So I would encourage you to keep working in that. Know that you have this angelic team around you if you haven't connected with them. And your grandmother is very like, not pushy, but she's strong, and she's like, keep going, keep moving forward. And she's also talking about, don't forget about the lessons that I taught you, because I do feel like that she was very present in your life, and one of your teachers as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for all this information. That's very interesting.
Oh, you were welcome.
Actually, yes, I want really to expand and, to discover. And then you say you attract people, and that's totally true at work. Everybody comes to see me and ask me question. And I have sometimes I see my guide, like they say, say this, say that. And like, so that's confirming everything I feel. So thank you a lot for that. It's really
you are very welcome, and thank you for joining us. It's so nice to meet you. So I see, Winter, that we had somebody else join us, but it's already after 4 o'clock. I don't know where the time went.
No, today went pretty fast. That's Christina Rawls, who just came in. She is another transfiguration physical medium, and she makes the circuit. She travels, and she and I are looking forward to at one point connect. We keep missing each other logistically, and do like a double sit. It would be nice for spirit. So thank you, Christina, for coming in. Mari, did you want to tell everyone about your upcoming events? I know one is sold out, but
Yes, I would love to. And I had to write it down because I will not remember everything. So yes, a few upcoming events. Actually, tomorrow I am doing an Instagram live with Kimberly Meredith, who's a celebrity medium and healer and, physical healer. She's amazing. So check out her. It's Kimberly Meredith, and on her Instagram page, we will be live doing readings tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And that is actually in preparation for our event on Saturday, which is called Animals and Angels, but that is sold out. But if you are interested in getting readings from myself and Kimberly, we are doing Animals and Angels session 2, and that is going to be on June 27th. At 7 p.m. Eastern. And so you either can go to my website, mediummari.com, or you can search Animals and Angels on Eventbrite. Tickets are for sale on there. I also am going to be doing an episode with Stories with Sapphire, which is a pretty popular podcast. We're taping next week, and so it should be out, within a week or so after that. And then June 3rd, I'm doing the Blog Talk show with the amazing medium Suzanne Northrup, who's been around for a long time. She's fantastic. And I'm also going to be planning an event with her in the fall. So would love to catch you guys at any of those events. And check out my website if you want more information, mediummari.com.
Awesome. You're getting busy, lady. And you have 2 graduations coming up.
I know, I do.
Before we do the card pull, I also want to mention we have the Transcendence Weekend, which I put in the Zoom link. That's just a great opportunity for a very low charge to take advantage of seeing 21 different presenters online. And on June 6th, I'm doing a fundraiser for a cat rescue that I normally will foster for, but I have a new puppy. I can't foster this year. So a couple of my dear friends, up and coming mediums, are going to join me, and we're going to do spirit messages and animal communication. And the tickets will be $25. It's online Thursday, June 6th from 7 to 9. 100% of the proceeds after Eventbrite, you can find it on Eventbrite, if I did it right, will be paid to the charity. Because on Long Island, we have, just like other places, we have a lot of feral cats. So what the charity does, it's run by this amazing attorney friend of mine. And like at 6 a.m, she's out trapping and then running a law firm. And yeah, she's got a lot of cats in her house that she's rehabilitating. But they'll find the kittens and, socialize them. But the vetting is $125 per kitten for their spaying and their neutering and their vaccines. And then that doesn't even include the litter and the food. And she also TNRs, and that's trap, neuter, release, where the feral animals that would not make a suitable pet, they will neuter them and vaccinate them for rabies and then return them, trap, neuter, release. So it's a very important task that she does. So we thought we'd help out by raising some money. So June 6th, tickets are $25, and I'll be having it advertised on my Facebook soon. In the fall, I am going to start classes up again, doing some psychic development, mediumship development, and trance. I'll be at Lilydale this summer, and I'm going to be hosting an orphan from Colombia. That's what my big thing is, because like Mari said, this is the time that you should, you don't have to just expand mediumistically. Spirituality is also helping your neighbor. I'm going to take in a child and hopefully help them find a forever home and speak a lot of Spanish this summer. So anyway, more news on that when it gets finalized, and I'm pretty excited. And I'm excited that Mari and I got to see each other in person last month at the conference. I wish I had gotten to see Christina next time. I know you had a conflict with the timing, but
I actually had to pull back my ticket, but I heard it was amazing. It was amazing. Thank
It
you.
was amazing. Yeah, it was.
So anyway, I'm just sending out a lot of love. I have cards. Mari, you want me to pull the card, or do you have one ready?
Yes, pull the card. And I just also wanted to say we have not figured out when our show will be in May. We will put our heads together and figure out when the next one will be. But just watch our respective pages and websites, and we will have another show coming up for next month.
Right, because Mari's daughter is being graduated from Michigan, and my daughter's being graduated from SUNY Old Westbury. We both have 2 college daughters graduating. So we have to, do the mom thing. So we're trying to figure out what's the next show, but we will.
Exactly.
Okay, so I am pulling from one of my favorite decks, which is the fairy deck. I love fairies, by Radley Valentine, and Valentine was my dad's name. And 10 of Spring. Ask for help from others. All work and no play, being weighed down by too many responsibilities. This is what my poor friend Terry, who was here before, needed to see, along with, I'm sure, anybody else who's watching. So springtime, as Mari and I encourage you guys to do, we did not encourage you to take another job. We encourage you to find something fun to unfold for your soul, for, ignite the flame within. And when you do that, it will change a tremendous dynamic, and your every day-to-day activity will become lighter and more enjoyable just because your flame's been reignited by a new possibility. All right. So this card is echoing that don't just work and no play. Play is the essence of spirit. Play and joy and love.
Exactly. That's perfect, Winter. That is so perfect. I think everybody needs to hear that. So there is no work-life balance. I mean, you need to work what you need to work, but life is about play and about joy. We're not here to work and suffer. We are here to experience happiness and joy. And I think a lot of times we forget that because we're like, gotta go here and supermarket this and pick up the kids and then you get all involved. And then you're like, wait a second, did I have any fun? Like, am I even happy? So make time for happiness, make time for joy. That is why you are here. Very important.
All right. So we will announce our next date on our Facebook pages, and love you all. Have a wonderful spring. Check out our websites for upcoming events that we're each doing. And I hope to see you this weekend at the Transcendence Eventbrite. And Mari hopes to see you on the Instagram tomorrow night with Kimberly Meredith, who's a doll.
8 o'clock. Check us out.
Thank you. And Mari,
Okay.
I'm right down the street from U of M.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Go blue, go blue. Yeah, it's a great school. She loves it. Go blue,
Yeah.
go blue. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Thanks
all.
again.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Good to see you, Brian.
You too.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.